Many years after I got saved by Jesus, I still had the stronghold, the mental stronghold or the mindset of being for abortion. Now, this is a very, very stronghold, difficult to break. And for years after my wife, she didn't know I was for abortion at the time. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have gotten married at that time. My wife tried to convince me that this was a baby, this was another living thing, but I made up the argument of, well, no, it's a woman's right to choose, or I'm not for abortion, but I'm for choice, which is an oxymoron. I made up all these things, and for years she tried to convince me of that. And I can remember it was one day after we got back from the Spickard farm where I was chopping up wood. She took me out to eat, and the subject of pro-life and pro-choice came up. And I was going through our stuff. She was going through her stuff. And then all of a sudden, it clicked with me. What it was is I saw in my mind at that time that the baby was a part of a woman because of the umbilical cord. That because the baby was attached physically, that it was part of a woman. Hence the whole thing, a woman's right to choose. But once I realized the ridiculousness of that argument, that the baby is the part of the woman, it made no more sense that if I was in a hospital, laid up in a bed, where I was immobile and being kept alive by tubes, I am not the hospital. And once that logic kicked in, and I mean, it was an all of a sudden moment, like an aha moment. It was like, well, wait, I told my wife, I said, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense, does it? That baby is no more part of a woman than I would be part of a hospital if I was kept alive with feeding tubes. And ever since then, I have been pro-life. I have been against abortion, very much so. And thankfully, I have a God that can forgive me for my indiscretion. So when you meet your family or friends or acquaintances, and you're coming from a Christian biblical perspective that you are for life, and you're trying to convince them of the error of thinking with regard to their pro-choice attitude, you need to be patient, because this stuff is ingrained in us from the very, very beginning for most of us. And you've got to be patient and still speak truth. My wife never gave up on me. She never relented on her right biblical standing of babies are their own separate entities. They have a right to live. They are people. And through that unrelenting biblical presence that she had in my life, I came to an understanding of what it means to be pro-life. I had to get rid of the mindset that was up there. It's tough, it takes time, but that bond can be broken.